Hey, welcome back. In parts 1 and 2, we built your dental CMO Copilot from the ground up. We structured your knowledge files, wrote tight instructions for your brain of your GPT, tested it to make sure it was compliant, it knew what it can do. We tested it, the knowledge base, we could figure out what it didn't know. And we also verified it would not hallucinate. So remember, ChatGPT outside of a personal GPT can hallucinate, and it will make things up to make you happy. So at the end of the day, all these large language models want to please you. That's why they're designed. Our personal GPT is designed to get the work done and not necessarily to please you. Okay, so all of its knowledge lives within its knowledge files. Makes it real simple. Now comes the part where most of these projects fall apart. It's in the rollout. You know it, I know it. It's hard to get teams to buy in to where we're going. Welcome to the Next Leap Academy, sponsored by New Paradigm and DSO Marketing X. I'm your host, Mark Hefner. Today, I'm going to walk you through how to deploy this to your marketing teams without chaos. And then I'm going to talk about the power, the use cases that could grow way beyond just writing simple emails and marketing materials. Now, we can take your GPT brain and plug it into an automated workflow to make your team even smarter and faster. Let's close this out. Here's the truth most don't want to hear. You can build the most sophisticated GPT in the world, drop the link into Slack, and let the dust collect. Why? Because your team doesn't know what's it for, how they're allowed to use it, how to write a good prompt. That's another big problem. And what happens if it messes up? So they ignore it, they'll use it once, get weird results, and they'll try something and go back to what they were doing. It's hard to break the habits of things people get used to working with. I am, you are too, you know it. But this personal GPT that you've put in place for your marketing team, you need to make sure it rolls out well and everybody bites into it. A tool is only as good as the adoption behind it. So let's get it adopted, let's get it in use. So let's build the adoption plan. Your first decision, who gets access to it? Let me give you some advice. Don't just give it to everyone. Start small. Your core marketing team, 2 to 5 people, a regional marketing lead who can give you feedback, maybe one trusted agency partner if you work with outside marketing teams. Why start small? Because you want to see how it's actually being used. Look for weird cases that come up, stuff that you didn't think about, and refine the instructions before you scale. After 2 or 3 weeks of real use, deploy it across your whole organization. Anyone who touches marketing, think of this as a rollout of new practice management software. Don't flip the switch for 40 locations on day 1. Remember, you pilot, you learn, you scale. That's how these things work. Be smart, be wise. Second, give your team a simple usage checklist. Don't assume they know the rules. Spell it out. Here's what I give every team. Before you use this GPT, no PHI prompts or files. If a patient can recognize themselves, don't use it. Use approved templates as a starting point. Remember those questions we put in already? There is a start of a prompt. Have them use those. Are you responsible for the final output? The GPT is an assistant, not the decision maker. Always review, edit, and approve before anything goes out. Let me repeat, this is an assistant. The human in the loop needs to make the final decision. They need to make the edits, they need to make the changes, they need to make it work, all right? This is just to get you there quicker. If it sounds off, stop, flag it. Don't just hit send. If something feels wrong, ask a senior team member or check the brand guide. And then I have my team report any weird behavior to me right away. If it refuses reasonable requests or gives confusing output, I want to know about it. Tell me what the role is, tell me what they're trying to do, send it to me so we can fix that right away. Because again, once it's deployed against everybody's not going to have a good taste in their mouth when these things get out. So we're still training the thing. Now we're just starting to train it on a broader scale. All right, you want to print this, put it in some type of file that everyone can see, print it in Slack, make it impossible to ignore for your team. Step 3, you guys know about these, probably never thought about it. Run a short lunch and learn. 30 to 45 minutes, bring in some food, get everybody on board. Here's a quick agenda that you can use. Slide 1, what is this GPT? and why it exists. You want to say this is our Dental CMO Copilot? It is here to help you write faster, stay on brand, avoid compliance headaches, and it's not a toy. This is a production tool. Use it, what it knows. It has access to our brand voice guide, current offers, office locations, compliance guidelines, and if it's not in those files, it'll tell you. And then demo a live prompt, just like I did in video 2. Have it do real tasks. Write an email to an active patient about whitening or something like that, just like I showed you in the last video. Show the output, highlight what's good, highlight what may need to be cleaned up. Maybe get your team involved when you're doing that. Say, hey, how would you tweak this a little bit? Show what happens when you paste PHI information in there and the information it coughs back. You saw me do that in video 2. Slide 5, the checklist. Review the usage rules. Slide 6, questions and answers. Open the floor up for everybody so they can ask questions and then let them play with it. Training up front on any new technology with your team will save a ton of headaches in the past. And don't assume they will know how to use this GPT just because they've been using other large language models or they've been using Chat GPT already for stuff that's going on in the office. This is a specific tool for your marketing department, for your team to use and to help to be consistent across the whole organization and your team. Look at it that way. What else can this thing do now that you developed it? If you are only using your Dental CMO Copilot only to write emails and some marketing paraphernalia, you're leaving 80% of the value on the table. Here are 5 power use cases you can use it for. New hire starts. Imagine this, you hire a new team member that starts on a Monday. They have zero context of your brand, your offers, and the compliance rules. Instead of scheduling 5 meetings where you need to train them and have them go through it, or worse yet, they do on-the-job training and they get it wrong, you can now turn over the GPT and say, hey, have them write a prompt. I'm a new team member. What are your core brand principles and examples of good patient-facing copy? And it will train them on it. They'll understand. You don't have to be involved in the day-to-day training. The GPT will pull from the files and give them structured answers in 30 seconds or less. You just saved yourself 3 hours of training. Man, why not go for this all the time? 2, your agency sends you a batch of special posts. You need to make sure they're on brand. So write a prompt that says, review this agency copy. Flag anything that's off brand and flag anything that's out of compliance. Just drop it in there, boom. Instead of you reading all of that stuff that may take you 2 hours, copy, paste, drop, guess what? The GPT compares against the information you have into the knowledge files, gives you back your answers 30 seconds or less, instead of 3 hours, 2 hours, 5 hours going through all this to make sure it's right. Or if you ever even checked it to begin with. One of the things that's really taking off in all of marketing are videos. Any type of video you do online will get you noticed. You're filming videos with one of your doctors at a location and you need to ask them questions. Write me a prompt that says, generate me 10 interview questions for a video I'm going to shoot with Dr. X about cosmetic dentistry. Focus on patient transformational stories and make it conversational. The GPT knows your tone, your location, and your service focus. It will build the list. You just saved 30 minutes plus of prep time for that interview, and you'll have that in 30 seconds or less. Campaign brief generator. When you're working with an outside agency, they all need campaign briefs. Need to launch a back-to-school campaign across 6 of your locations? Instead of starting from a blank document, you just ask your personal GPT to draft the brief. Drop in a prompt like says, create a campaign brief for back-to-school checkup promo running from August 1st to August 31st across these 6 locations. Include goals, target audience, key messaging, and channel plan. Put that all on that prompt. The GPT pulls out the locations, your typical promo structure, your brand voice, and gives you your first draft 30 seconds or less. You just turned a 2-hour task into maybe a 20-minute project. From start to finish, you're done. You can move on with something else. And these are repetitive tasks that you're always doing, whether it be a campaign for teeth whitening, back to school, whatever it is, it can pull it together for you. Another one, an idea sanity check. One of your regional managers comes with you for a wild idea. Hey, what if we did a Halloween contest for patients and posted photos on Instagram? Before you greenlight it, you can always ask the GPT, list potential operational and compliance risks for patients' Halloween contests on Instagram. The GPT will flag photo consent issues, potential HIPAA violation concerns, brand tone and mismatch. If costumes are too controversial, you just caught 3 landmines before they exploded. Something we don't think about. This is why I call this a dental CMO copilot. It's not just a content machine. It is the always-on brain that helps your team make the right decisions faster while keeping humans in control. So far, we've talked about people opening up a GPT and typing in it. Phase 2 is when we connect this thinking to automation. Tools like N8N open the API key directly. What does that mean? That means instead of someone copying and pasting from your CRM into ChatGPT, you can pipe instructed data directly into the AP setup or into the AI setup as part of the workflow. Here's what that looks like. Just think about this. You have a new marketing coordinator and they fill out a simple form in your CRM. They type in the campaign type, dates, locations, and goals. N8N, the automated workflow, captures that form data first. Then N8N sends it to the OpenAI API key with the same instructions and knowledge that's in your personal GPT. The API returns the full campaign brief and draft copy. N8N can post it to a Google Doc or a Slack channel for review. No copy and pasting, no manual prompt, just form, brief, done. Simple. And here, let me mention why I talk about N8N. You may be familiar with Zapier or Make. Just to let you know, neither of those two are HIPAA compliant. N8N is. So make sure if you're using automation tools, they do have HIPAA compliance and a BAA along with them. Another example is you can turn analytic exports into story and talking points. Here's what the workflow looks like. Your Google Analytics exports weekly traffic data into a Google Sheet. N8N can read that sheet. Then it will send that data to the API with a prompt like, summarize this week's traffic trends and suggest 3 content ideas based on top performing content on the top performing pages. N8N will send that to the API with a prompt something like this. Summarize this week's traffic trends and suggest 3 content ideas based on the top performing pages. API returns a plan, language, summary, and recommendations. N8N will email that to you every Monday. That way you'll have it. No logging into dashboards. No, what does this mean? Meetings, just automated insights. Zoom transcripts and content pack workflow. You record a video interview with one of your doctors using Zoom or some other recording method. Zoom will auto-generate the transcript. You can also use Fathom, that will auto-generate, or if you've used Otter, it will auto-generate. So there's 3 different tools that will auto-generate the transcript for you. N8N will grab that transcript and then it will send it off with a prompt like, turn this interview into 3 posts, 1 email, 1 YouTube description, use my brand voice. API returns a full content packet. N8N drops that into a database for you and your team to review. That database can be a Google Sheet, Notion, or whatever other tool you use to do this stuff with. 1 interview, 5 assets, 0 manual writing. Now, what does that look like? What do these automations look like when you set them up? Let me show you. Here's what the core architecture of what that might look like. You have a trigger, you have your LLM. Now this is kind of a little bit bigger here, kind of goes through. Then you have the N8N, that's the automation engine with the API keys, and then you have your output. Don't get too freaked out by this. This is a real complicated workflow, but you have the setup guide, you have a trigger, you can kind of see how the workflow goes, and out comes what you need. I don't want you to get too scared by this one. This is our complicated workflow that I work with and some of the stuff that we have going on. So we talk about research, talk about strategy engine, content creation, graphic and video generation in it, and approvals, and then we publish and we schedule. So again, we're talking about doing something very simple with you guys first and what you're doing. So something to think about, something you think you can use, but here's the important part. If you need HIPAA alignment, this workflow lives in a different world. You're using OpenAI API or something like Azure OpenAI in a HIPAA-ready environment with a BAA and infrastructure. that your IT and legal have signed off on. This is not a flip the switch type of feature. That's a project. Even without PHI, there are a ton of things you can do that can safely automate right now. Pure marketing data, public content, campaign workflows. All right, let's land this whole thing. Over the past 3 videos, we've covered how to structure your knowledge files and decide the job of your GPT. Part 2, how to build it, write instructions and test it. Part 3, how to roll it out, unlock power use cases, and connect it to automation. If you made it this far, your brain is probably spinning with your own ideas for your own dental CMO Copilot. But hey, if you want to test your GPT against mine, download the Dental CMO Copilot I built. You can download it here. It'll ask you some questions about your brand when you start your first project and a little bit about your group. Give it a try. If you want the exact instruction block I used, and you want the starter file checklist, along with the PHI compliance guardrails, I'll drop those right into the Next Leap Gen AI Toolkit. The link is in the description and it's pinned in the comments. Grab it, build your own Dental CMO Copilot, then come back and tell me how's your team using it. If this series was helpful, hit like and subscribe for more marketing and AI content. Share this with one marketing or operation leader in your world who keeps getting asked, what are we doing with AI at every meeting? Hey, I'm Mark. Thanks for building your GPT with me, and I hope you enjoyed these 3 videos. I'll talk with you later. Thanks, and make it a wonderful day.